welcome back to my channel. Today is Monday, May 25th, and it's been about a week since I have filmed anything. So at my last market, I sold a lot of my inventory, so I decided to take the next week off, which was last week. That way I could crochet some more inventory and work on my Etsy and things. So I did update my Etsy listings. I took some new product photos. I added some new product descriptions and things. Like I added the colors for the yarn and stuff like that. And I am really loving the way that it looks. So if you would like to go check it out and support me, I will put the link in the description. That's what I've been doing this past week. And now I am going to be filming for this week, and I have a market coming up this Saturday. I'm not sure if this video is going to be one video like it has been with the market prep and market vlog. I might do it where they are two videos and do this video just strictly market prep, and then next week's video can be just market vlog and the market recap. I'm not sure yet. We'll just have to see how this week goes with filming and everything. But now I am going to show you all of the things that I have made, and some things I already had made. They just needed like finishing touches. Like I have some bee rattles and I needed to crochet the wings and some extra details. So let's just start with those. I have two of these bee rattles and they still don't have eyes yet, but I did add the wings and the antennas on here, and these are little rattles. And I also made this, which is a little bear, and I haven't put the eyes or nose on it yet. But this one is not a rattle. So I have had a lot of success with the rattles at my markets, but I have also had some kids and some adults even that have been interested, but they didn't buy it because I market them as baby rattles. So I decided to make some without rattles just to see how they sell at my next market. So I do have this bear, and my parents keep saying it looks like a gummy bear. So maybe I'll make some as gummy bears and see how those sell. So I only have one of these, and then I have these two blossom pipsqueaks, and these are not rattles either. So this one is a sunflower and this is a daisy, and as you can see on these I put safety eyes. Since they are not rattles, I don't mind putting safety eyes because the rattles are for babies and safety eyes are not safe for babies. But for these I decided to do safety eyes with no rattle, but these are so cute. I think I might make them with rattles too, just because I love the way that these look, especially how they look together. I think they complement each other so well. So that's all of the rattles that I've got. One of the first things that I started making last week was a loaf dog, and can you guess what it is? It's very long. It's not finished, obviously. There's no tail on it and the face is not done, but this is a little weenie dog, and the pattern is Annie Caraway Art, and it is her loaf dog pattern. The only thing that I modified is I made the ears a little bit longer, since I do have two weenie dogs and their ears are quite long. So I decided to edit the pattern just to make them a little bit longer and more realistic. So this, I actually do have the tail made, I just haven't sewed it on yet, but I am loving the way that this looks. This color is the Mama Made Minis yarn, and it is cedar, and it is just the perfect color for a red dachshund, which I used to have a red one, but she passed away. I think it was 2024. I'm not too sure what year, but she did pass away. But she was this color, and I just love it, and I think it's going to sell really good. And I do plan on making some more regular loaf cats and some more loaf dogs, but for now I did make two loaf kittens because my loaf cats sell really well, but they are so big, and so I decided to make the kitten version, which is just a little bit smaller, and I really love these. The size is perfect in my opinion. So I made a Siamese cat, and this one is a tabby cat, so it's got these stripes on the top and on the tail, and these just need their nose and whiskers embroidered on. So for reference, the loaf dogs are about the same size as a loaf cat, Of course, this one is a little bit longer since it is a weenie dog, but the like circumference is the same. So that is a comparison. This is the kitten and this is just the regular loaf design. So I have 2 loaf kittens as well. And I also have this strawberry turtle, which I am obsessed with. I cannot believe it took me this long to make a strawberry turtle. So this is the very first one I have ever crocheted and I'm obsessed. It is so cute. And I love the way that the purple goes with the pink and it's just amazing. This also is one of the ones that I added to my Etsy shop. So if you would like to purchase this, you can go order it on my Etsy. And I also have tons of different color options for the shell and the head, or for the body and the head, if you would like that as well. I've also been talking about how I was going to start making some more stuffed bodies instead of making all lovey bodies. So I made a Winnie the Pooh, and this is a stuffed body. And it just needs the nose embroidered on it, but I love the way this turned out. It's actually, the way it's crocheted is made to sit, and it's fully stuffed. Every piece is stuffed. And the only thing that I had to do was reinforce the head because the head is crocheted through both layers at once, so it was pretty floppy, but I just did some extra embroidery around it, and the head is perfectly fine now. So this is not part of the pattern. I just modified it and used obviously yellow, and then I added the shirt on there. And I almost forgot to add sleeves, so I had did both arms completely yellow. And then I started on the body and I realized, oh wait, he's got red sleeves. So I had to go back and do that. But this pattern is so cute and I'm going to see how it sells. This is the only one that I have so far. And it might be the only one that I make just because I've never had anything like this at my markets. So I just want to see how this will sell. And I also made this stuffed elephant, and this is Loops to Loveys, and it is the Easton elephant, but it is with the stuffed body. So this one is different. It does not sit with the legs out like the Winnie the Pooh does. It kind of just looks like this, but it's easier to hold, maybe for like toddlers or younger kids. And I also put safety eyes on this as well, because I only do embroidered eyes when I know that it'll be for a baby or it might be for a baby. So this one I envision being more for an older kid, like a toddler or something, that it's okay to have the safety eyes. But this is so cute, and the yarn is this is the first time that I have used this yarn, which is the Bernat Blanket Frosting, and I love the way it turned out. It is so cute and perfect for this little stuffy. One of the items on my Etsy shop that I added was a Della duck. So I had the white Della duck as the picture on there, and then I had the option to do a mallard, but I didn't have a good picture of the mallard in the style that I have started doing my pictures. So I decided to crochet one. That way I can add it to the listing, and also so I can sell it at my markets, because I had a mallard at my last one and it sold. So I wanted to make another one. And this is the first time that I have made it in this color combo. So this is Bernat Blanket Misty Green, I think, Jungle Green, something like that. And then this is Premier Basics Caramel. This is Steel Cut Oats. And the feet are actually the Mama Made Minis Cedar. And I think it looks really good with all these other colors. Even though this is like a red, compared to this, it looks more like red orange. And this is also Premier Basics Curry. So this is the difference, like this is the same color, but when you have it with this, it goes really well and it's not very bright red. But with this, it looks really red. So it just depends on what yarn you put with it, but I think this is the perfect color combo for a mallard. And I did do embroider eyes, and this is also available on my Etsy. The last thing that I worked on, which actually was this morning and last night, were these 2 Brie Mouse from Oak and Marlow. And backstory, I had made this a couple months ago, and it was my first one that I have made. and I really love the way that it turned out, but the head and the ears were so lopsided. I can't remember if I showed it in one of my past videos. I might have. I decided that I did like how it looked, but I wanted to make another one to see if I could make it any better, and I definitely did. So this one I started working on last night and I finished it up today, and it's birch with mellow mauve, which it actually kind of looks a little bit purple, which is fine with me. I mean, any color variety is good. And I put safety eyes, and my big issue with this one was that the ears were super crooked. I made sure when I embroidered these on that I embroidered them straight and that I embroidered them even. So it turned out so cute. I still need to put the nose on it, but it took me forever and I just wanted a break. So I decided to start filming. So this is actually the last thing that I was crocheting like 20 minutes ago. And I decided to fix this one as well. So I actually completely cut off the entire head up until the neck and crocheted all of this brand new, including the ears. And the other one, I didn't put safety eyes. I decided to change it and put safety eyes on this. And then once again, I made sure the ears were completely straight and even. And I am obsessed with how these turned out. They are just so cute. I love the way that the tutus look with the little leotard and their little laces on the shoes. These are going to be perfect. And before, I used to not like any of the Fable collection from Oak and Marlow because I thought it was weird how long the legs are compared to like just everything else. And I noticed a lot of the kids that come into my booth, I think they would really enjoy these little animals. So all of a sudden last night I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start making some Fables. And I knew I had made this one, so I decided to make a new one to see if it was just me the first time, and it definitely was. The pattern is really great, really easy, and I am glad that I decided to retry it. If you ever have problems with the pattern, just give it a couple weeks, couple days, maybe even a couple months like I did, and then pick it back up and you might love the result. So that's all that I needed to do, was just step back from it and then come back to it a little bit later. And I love them so much. I did purchase the bunny Fable pattern. I don't remember which one because I know that there's two. It's the one that has the floppy ears. But that is everything that I have been crocheting this past week. Like I said earlier, it is Monday. It's a fresh new start to a new week. And I have got so much that I need to prep. I still need to make some loaf cats. I'm going to make some of those bunnies like I just said. I might make one more of the mouse in like a bluish color maybe, or like a light blue, just so there's a variety and it's not all pink or purple. I do want to make, like I said, some more of these with a rattle inside. And I think that might be it. Oh, I do want to make a watermelon turtle. So I did make that strawberry turtle and I want to make it in a watermelon design. So that might be something that happens in this video. We'll just have to see. But for now, I am going to make the bunny, and I think I'm going to time myself because I want to see how long it takes. Because these took me all morning, but then again, I was doing 2 of them. So I want to see how much one takes. So that is what I'm going to do right now. Here is the pattern. It is the Prim Bunny from Oak and Marlow, and it is part of the Fable collection. And I am going to use Pebble from Premier Basics, and it is the Mama Made Minis collection. And then I have got Awestruck Crochet over here on my computer, and it's actually her crocheting some of the Fable collection. So that will be perfect as I crochet this bunny.
Okay guys, we finished the little flora. So cute. I love the little flower in her ear. Here on the next day of the Fable-thon, and
I just finished one of the legs and I forgot to start the timer. So I'm going to time it on the next leg. I also forgot that when I make stuff from the Fable collection that I crochet the arms in. So every single time that I make these, I always go and make the leg first because that's what the pattern says. And then I always forget until I get to that point and I'm like, oh, I forgot to make the arms. So I'm going to, like I said, I just finished this leg. I'm going to fasten off and then I'm going to make the 2 arms. That way when it gets to the point, I'm going to crochet the arms in instead of having to sew them on.
Tomorrow. Hey guys, okay, we are in the next morning and I have 3 of the little goose. And so, and the feet were a little tricky. It took me a minute. Little wings that point out on the side. I'm at about 35 minutes for.
I just finished one of the arms and I remembered that I forgot to start the timer. So I was going to start it after, or I was going to start it before I made the second arm. I did start the timer. I started the timer before I even made this leg and I completely forgot. Well, okay, to make 1 leg, 1 arm, and then ramble onto the camera has been 12.5 minutes. So now I'm just gonna stop it and I'm going to truly do it again with the arm and see if I can remember or not. We'll see. I've got the 2 arms done and now I am going to work on the other leg and then work on the body. Here are the 2 legs finished. So I've got the arms and the legs, and then now I'm going to start on the body and see how long that takes me.
Just in case.
Because we needed a lot of those so far.
Okay, I'm trying to pull the mold.
Little cute heart sprinkles.
Okay, for this chocolate round, my initial thought was try frying up the pie crust in little circles and filling it with like a chocolate frosting.
Yeah, something.
Oreo, and we dip it in pancake batter, and then it doesn't turn out. But we've got all the things going on around here with that.
I think it was good. No, it's like a little flower.
Like squeeze the juice into it to make it taste like lemon, and then we're gonna use these stuff. But I'm going to make my own taco. We'll see how I'm feeling when I'm in Sprouts. But yeah, I'm gonna go to Sprouts internal temperature. So 3 of these. That looks great to me. Wonder how Nessa is doing. Okay, the onion and garlic. Okay, so I skipped a bunch of steps and I look crisp one.
Right, there's a button over there at the very end.
What? Part of you?
I finally finished the bunny and here's what it looks like. The color turned out really good for this pattern. And here is the face close up. I did safety eyes and then the little nose on there. And I didn't have fur yarn that matched this color, so I just used the same yarn as the whole body. And this is what it turned out like. I do want to make the overall mod with the pointed ears, but for now I have been working on these fables all day long. So these 2 mice ballerinas and then the bunny. I do want to make another bunny, like I said, with the overalls. That way I can have 4 just to test the waters and see how they sell at my market. But for now, I want to take a break from those, and I'm kind of feeling like I want to make the deer from BK Crochet. I've made it before. I've only made it once though, and I used, I think it was sand from Bernat Blanket, but I'm kind of wanting to make it in caramel. We'll just have to see, but for now, that's what I'm going to go work on, and I will see you in my next clip. Today is Thursday, May 28th, and here is the finished buck pattern from BK Crochet. So I did embroidered eyes on it so that it is safe for any age, and I love the way that this turned out. I have been wanting caramel for the longest time, specifically so I could make this pattern, and I am so glad that I finally did. And this is available on my Etsy if you would like to purchase one. And I do want to make the doe pattern, but I don't think that I'll make it before my market Saturday. But I did want to show y'all the finished buck and how cute it is in this caramel. The last day that I filmed was Monday, and like I said, today is Thursday, so I did crochet in between, and I made this watermelon turtle, which I think I showed it in a previous video that it was one of my whips, and so I finally decided to finish it, and I really do like the way it turned out, because usually watermelon turtles are the more pastel color, so it's usually a light pink and a light green, but I think this is pretty realistic with the dark green and kind of like the hot pink. And then I did do a little bitty round of white as like the rind part, And this also is available on my Etsy as well. And then last night I started working on a daisy turtle. So the bottom is, it's like a mint color. I don't remember the name, but it's Sweet Snuggles Light. And then the top is yellow from Sweet Snuggles Light. And then I am going to work on the head and do the petals, which that's what I'm going to do today. And that is everything that I've got so far. I really only worked on the deer, and then I finished up this watermelon turtle and then started working on this. But after I finish this turtle, I am going to make some more little bunnies from the Fable collection, but I won't film that since I already filmed it Monday, and we'll just go from there. This is the turtle pattern that I use. It is by Crochet by Jenna, and the pattern is the regular and jumbo size, but this is the regular size. And the pattern says to use Parfait Chunky, but I prefer Sweet Snuggles Light or Parfait Plush. So that is what I use for the turtles. And then I use a 6mm hook instead of a 5mm. So this is the green that I'm going to use for the head that I also use for the body. And it is baby green from Sweet Snuggles Light. And then the petals will be white, and the petals are actually from a YouTube video by Rose and Lily Crochet. I finally finished the head for this daisy turtle, and now it's time to attach it onto the body of the turtle. Whenever I have to attach amigurumi pieces, I always use my knitting needles. So there for a minute I did try and do knitting, and I knit like one sweater and then never finished it. And then I knit another one and another one. So I've got like 5 unfinished knit sweaters, all on circular hooks. And then I bought these straight needles, and I don't even remember what these were for. I think I was gonna make like a headband or something, but that never happened either. So now I use them as amigurumi sticks, and I use them to stick them into the pieces so they stay in place whenever I embroider them on. Here is what the needles look like inside of the head, and now I'm going to embroider this head on. Turtle head all sewn on, and now it is time to put the petals on. Here is the turtle all done, and the petals look so cute. I love the color combo. At first I wasn't sure if I was going to like it because the mint and the yellow just isn't my favorite, but it all came together so nicely with the white petals. So I really like the way that this turned out. And this also is going to be on my Etsy. I am going to bring it to my market, but I will have this as a made-to-order option on my Etsy. And you can do any other color you want to. It doesn't have to be this mint color. So go check that out. And now, I really don't know. I said that I was going to make some more of these bunnies, but I have been seeing a lot of Feels Like Bliss, and I do have a skein of it that I tried to use a long time ago, and I just could not get into it. But now I kind of want to see if I can make something with it, and I'm gonna see if I can find it. It's like in the bottom of my yarn shelf, like way at the bottom, but I'm gonna see if I can find it, and maybe I will try and make a loaf cat, because that's what I originally was going to make with it. So we'll see. If not, I don't know what I'll crochet. It's a surprise to me as much as it is to you. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. I decided to make the bunny with overalls, and here is what it looks like. So I used Premier Basics Chenille in the color Steel Cut Oats for the bunny color. And then the overalls is Country Blue from Bernat Blanket. And then the little headband is Cedar from the Mama Made Minis collection. So I am really glad that I made this. I think it is going to be a good addition to my market, along with the Prim Bunny and the 2 Brie Mouse that I have. So the only thing left is to do the little nose on here, but I definitely am going to be making more of these in the future. It's market day. Here's all of my loveys as always. I do have some that I've had since the first market, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to sell those. Like most of these Mama Made mini ones I've had since my first market. I'm wondering if they're priced too high or if people just aren't really liking the size of them maybe. Because a lot of my smaller ones are selling. So I added this mallard and then I've got the white duck. So the ducks are 28 and then these Mama Made mini ones are 35. So let me know what y'all think about the price. I kind of think that's a good price for these though, so I don't want to lower them. And then I've got my smaller ones over here. I don't know why my elephants are not selling either. I've had these since the beginning, and these are, oh gosh, I don't remember how much they are. I think they're 30, but they're not selling either. And then I added my little deer over here. Most of my small loveys are 30. I think the bunnies are 28. But there's my little loveys over there. And then I left this space open for checkout. So I don't have as much inventory as I normally have. I do have a lot, but since last time I sold a lot of my inventory. So this is all that I was able to bring this time. So I've got my little baby rattle basket, and I was able to add my bees. This is from Jenny Loopy Doo, and I added it anyway, even though it's not like the pipsqueaks. I've got my business cards right here, and I actually need to buy more. So this is the front, and then the back just has this, but I designed some new ones that have a QR code instead of the yarn ball that links to my Etsy, and then I added my YouTube on there. So I need to get those ordered, but I want to use these up before I order more. So I've got my little rattles. And then here are the little fables that I have, and I priced them at $20. So I'm gonna see how these sell, because I've never had these before at a market. So I've got 2 ballerinas and 2 bunnies, and I added the little dress on that bunny just to make it a little bit cuter. And I decided to put these bears in the basket again. They still have their tags on it though. But I decided to put them back in the basket so that I could have more room on my lovey stand. And then over here, I don't know why this dragon is not selling either. I have it priced at $25, which I kind of think is a little bit low. I'm not sure if people don't like the color of it or what, but I've had that for a while. And then this is kind of like my miscellaneous. I've got 2 Mabel chickens left over, and then the duck from Oak and Marlowe. And then here is that Winnie the Pooh stuffy that I made, so we'll see how that sells. And then I've got my 2 Drift the octopus on either side, and then I've just got this penguin chilling back there. Now these are the only love cats that I have. I have this big one, which is from my last market, and then these 2 are loaf kittens that I crocheted this past week, and those are just chilling up there. Then I've got this little basket. These are also pipsqueaks, but they don't have a rattle, so I wanted to separate them and put them in this. So these are all $10, and this is the baby Della Duck, but I had it for $18 and it's not selling. It also might be because I don't have it displayed well, but I just decided to put it for $10. And this one I crocheted last night at 10 o'clock at night and decided to bring it. It is the mini size. So this is the regular and here's the mini. So I wanted to see how the mini sells. And then I've got all of my turtles. Of course, I've got my jumbo turtle right at the front to draw people in. I've got this speckled turtle, which is from last market, the macaroon turtle, which is from last market. And these 2 are new, the strawberry and the watermelon turtle. So there's the turtles. and all of my crates in this little corner. And I've got my checkout and my loveys as always, and my sign.